constituencies to serve in critical leadership roles, not only in philanthropy, but the nonprofit sector. I think to myself, where would we be without a person like Sylvia paving the way?
When you achieve one goal, you know, don't celebrate and high five for too long. It's time for us to move on because we've got the next part to go.
I remember the exact moment I met Mary. She was this ball of energy, and she was going in 100 directions, and she had so much going on, and she's spouting out these great ideas. And my first thought was, wow, she's really intimidating. And then about 10 seconds later, I realized she is this just generous woman and is doing everything, leading by the heart, and she's so engaged with her community and giving back. And then my only thought was, how can I be more like her?
I think as a member of the community, it's my duty to do whatever I can to make this a better place.
Mary started the international tax practice here at Schneider Downs shortly after she became shareholder, and that practice more than, I'd say, quadrupled in the 12 years. And she's also started a group here in Pittsburgh. It's the Global International Business Forum.
Mary is the chair-elect of Achieva. Achieva is southwestern Pennsylvania's largest of overseeing support for over 12,000 individuals and their families each year.
We're all just one situation or one event away from a dire circumstance. And seeing your actions impact people, really making a difference, it's just such a good feeling, and I learned so much from those activities.
As well as being on quite a number of committees, Mary was also instrumental in a capital campaign that we conducted with a goal of $8 million, and we overachieved at $8.8 million. Not only is Mary very involved with Achieva, which we cherish, but she's also involved with the Women's Leadership Council, the United Way. She's just so generous with her time.
I've been involved in the Schneider Downs United Way Workplace campaign for probably my entire tenure here, almost 15 years. Really committed to having fun with it, getting the employees to understand where their dollars go, getting them to volunteer.
She was instrumental in bringing WELD, the Women for Economic and Leadership Development, here to Pittsburgh. But she just knew it was a great organization that Pittsburgh needed and was behind it 110%.
I think Mary is just an inspirational person. To be around her is to feel great about not only yourself, but everyone with whom she interacts.
Every day brings us challenges and opportunities, sometimes positive, sometimes negative. And I just want people, young women, but really everybody, to just take each day as it comes and learn from it, both the positive and the negative. Don't get discouraged, and just think, if you made a plan and plan A doesn't work, there's 25 more letters in the alphabet.
The best decision I ever made was to follow my passion, which was really trying to be entrenched in a community to help be a problem solver, to bring resources to individuals and communities that need it the most.
Nominating Kenya for the Athena Award, I think, was actually a very easy decision. She is just so invested in people's lives. She's a very kind, caring person that has done so much for the community and so much for the bank that when we heard about the award, she came to mind immediately.
Kenya played a very pivotal role in the creation and foundation of the launch of BNY Mellon's Pathways program, which is a program aimed at helping the most vulnerable people in our communities, both in the United States and the UK, and then it expanded on to India. By the end of the program in 2015, nearly 80% of the U.S. participants had graduated from high school, had their GED.
I created the BNY Mellon Coro Executive Fellowship as an opportunity to provide people from diverse backgrounds with the experience and tools they need to be able to compete for some of the jobs within philanthropy.
She's involved with many different things. I think she sits on 4 different boards, and each one of them is special in and of its own right. So she doesn't really separate groups. She doesn't hold one group above the other. She's trying to advance all the groups within the society.
I expect 2 things from my mentees. 1, to always pay it forward, and 2, to always make sure that they invest in themselves. That's when you can tell the difference between someone who is ready and someone who is not. I am so proud of my mentees to make sure they got out of their comfort zone and challenge themselves in ways they have not been challenged before, which is exactly what my mentor has done for me.
I think Kenya has had a tremendous impact in how we think about our relationship to the community. Kenya has helped us see ourselves as not just business people, but as community leaders, as community members, and we have used our resources through her and her ideas to do more and more in the community. And that impact isn't just now, that impact is lasting.
She's been in many different mentoring programs, whether it's Impact, which is really for elevating people of multicultural backgrounds, whether it's WIN, which is our women's initiation. She's mentored young women who've moved on in their careers.
You know, and she's inspiring others. She's being inspired by others. And there's a definite cycle, a definite, very positive upward cycle that happens when we reach out, touch others, and see that result, bring it back, and play it forward again and again. Kenya is that kind of person.
One thing I would like to communicate to young women is to always be prepared. One of my favorite quotes is, "By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail." And that is some advice that I received from one of my mentors. You never know when opportunity will present itself, so make sure you take the time to invest in yourself so when opportunity is there, you are prepared to seize the day.
The Athena Award recognizes smart, insanely competent, excellent women who give back and have made a huge impact on the community. And Alana embodies all of that.
I guess the best decision that I made was moving back to Pittsburgh. I have to say, I think it was the impetus for everything that I do now. Entrepreneurship has really been, I think, at the core of the Renaissance in Pittsburgh. It's just amazing. I mean, look at this community that we're in. There are startups, if you walk out the door and walk for 50 yards, you're going to run into a startup. It's just amazing.
When we started Alpha Lab Gear, it was one of the first hardware accelerators in the world. And this is a program that helps entrepreneurs launch physical product companies and build new companies around it. And it's really received international acclaim from so many organizations. It's been named one of the top startup accelerators for women. In addition to that, Alana created a program called the International Hardware Cup that sends the best hardware entrepreneurs from around the world to Pittsburgh for their finals. And those, I think, illustrate just 2 examples of how innovative and creative she is, and how when Alana puts her mind behind something, it's a world-class initiative.
My passion is introducing entrepreneurship more widely. I really believe that entrepreneurship is a path to independence and to success for a wide variety of people.
Entrepreneurship is really difficult, and I think the difference between success and failure is having a great mentor who gives solid advice and who's willing to really get to know you and cares about you both professionally and personally, and really wants you to be successful. And for many local entrepreneurs, myself included, Alana is exactly that.
I think being a mentor means helping people find their own best solution to a problem. Sometimes it can be really tempting to want to give the advice that you would take, but I think taking the time to understand that person's priorities and what's important to them and helping them reach a decision that's right for them, I think that's what being a mentor is all about.
Alana gives back to the community in so many different ways. First off, she leads a major program for a nonprofit that just supports so many new first-time entrepreneurs and teens that want to opt into entrepreneurship. Secondly, she volunteers for a lot of different organizations. She's an advisor to Uprise. She's on the board of Winchester Thurston Schools, Propel Schools, Jewish Community Center. She has started organizations like PowerLink. It's a program that supports female professionals and is now in over 25 cities around the country.
And so what I would say to young women is, every day if you can think about what is really important today and what you're going to do well today, you do the best you can at that for today, and you don't let yourself feel bad about all the other roles that you're playing that aren't perfect today.
Jamie gives this energy to everything that she does, and the energy brings with it this ability to